Good morning. Hi, I'm Sandy. I just wanted to share briefly about my recent trip to Northeast Georgia a month ago, and it was a thing called Beauty for Ashes, and it's a ministry under another organization called Adventures for Missions. I was searching online for short-term missions a while back, and this is one of the ones that came emailed to me, and it captured my heart because it had to do with women ministering to other women. So Beauty for Ashes, it was saying God created in us an insatiable desire to be loved. It's a love that only He can fulfill, ready to share that with other women around the world. Beauty for Ashes is the women ministry of ventures and missions. They exist to share God's restoration, hope, and healing with women through ministry and training. And I went there to meet 11 other ladies, and they all came from different parts of the country. And I got to know and meet these ladies, and we got to connect in a different way. It was exciting because we shared our stories, and we all have stories from our past. We came through pain and different things of relationships and families. So we all got to share little parts of ourselves. And during that time, we got to cry, laugh, and share. And it was exciting, and we bonded so instantly. So the one day we went into Atlanta, which is like a 2-hour drive south of where we were at. And we got there, and we went to this place. It's like a compound, blocks of a place, sort of like a city for refuge. While we were there, we got to meet other women who were recovering from other addictions, and women who've been caught in human trafficking, and also women who were homeless, who were overcoming things. And we got to interact. While we were doing it, we did a thing to share about who God is to us. And then we turned to them, and they learned to journal and color to share about who God is to them, because they are also learning. So we got to see, and I got to draw a little picture, because who God is to me is, I see myself as this little person, and God is this big guy. And I have my hands extended up to Him, and He's reaching down, holding my hand as we walk together. It's kind of like that song we were singing earlier about being in the garden. So that's how God is to me. There's so many more, but I don't want to take the whole hour and take it away from me. Just kidding. And Beauty for Ashes, it's in Scripture, in Isaiah 61:3. It said, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. So, but anyway, in this whole thing who we did while we interact with the ladies there in Atlanta, we got to talk about just, we all are beautiful, but we all came from ashes, but we are beauty because God created us. We are, so while we interact with women, I got to talk to a few ladies, and one shared her story, and she became, her name was Jo, and she said she was married at one time, and she had a little girl, and her husband and her divorced. And so he pretty much kind of left her out, kicked her out of her home. And she lived in Florida at the time, and she left and lived in the streets. She had nowhere to go, no family, nothing. So she became homeless and got into drugs, because that was available out in the streets. While she was out there, she got caught up in human trafficking. She'd been involved for a while, but she didn't say how long or anything. But you can see the sadness in the story in her voice. But there was also joy because she's overcome by being rescued. But how that came about was she said the people who were holding her were keeping her, depriving her from food and water. So she wasn't very healthy. So one day she was able to get out, and she got out on the streets. And she saw a convenience store, and she went there, and she helped herself to water and snacks. And so she got picked up for shoplifting. And so after that, the police interrogated her, and then they put her in a safe home, and that's how she got rescued. So I don't know. But we had other stories too to share. And it was exciting to know that there is hope. That is what's, we all have, we all need. So we got to do that, and we got to minister to other women who came from another organization, and they were mostly Hispanic women, and we got to love on them and share with them. And we had an awesome time meeting. And the same organization is planning on coming to New Mexico in April. So I don't know the whole detail, but they're planning on coming to the Navajo Nation. So it's exciting. I hope to be part of it. And it'll be like 4 or 5 days. I'm not sure where yet, but I'll hope to know more answers soon. So that was part of my mission trip. And I enjoyed it so much because it was showing myself and being more bold and going out there. And these are women I've never met before, but I instantly connected. And I think that's how it was with Jesus when he was rounding up his disciples, have them follow him, And they didn't know, they didn't know where they were going. So it's just learning to trust him. And that's what it's all about, is trusting him.